Hi, I am Emmeline Choi, the Holistic Facialist. Welcome back to my channel. This week I wanted to talk to you about problematic skins and ways that you can maintain or just help keep on top of pimply, acne prone skin, really. I just wanted to give you some tips, just day-to-day things that you can do, that if you are struggling with breakouts and pimples, these just might help to control, calm, or even clear, if we're lucky, any problems with your skin. So here we go. The first tip I would say is cleansing. Cleansing is really, really important. I would recommend cleansing the skin twice a day if you can. I know some people, they can get away with doing a cleanse in the evening, just washing their makeup off and maybe just using something like rose water in the morning. But if you find that you're going through a phase where you have a lot of breakouts or you're struggling with acne, I would definitely recommend cleansing, doing a proper cleanse twice a day. If you've had makeup on, do a double cleanse in the evening, and yeah, just give your skin a really good clean. You don't want to be too harsh with your skin. What I find with some clients who have spots or acne breakouts, they hate it so much, which is totally understandable, and I know exactly how it feels. I've struggled with acne myself in the past, but you kind of really want to scrub it away because you hate it so much. And some clients use muslin cloths, or they'll use like Clarisonic or electrical facial brushes, and I'm just not a fan of them. The muslin cloths, I think, you know, I've probably said in a million videos before, they're just really, just a bit rough and a bit harsh on the skin. And the electrical facial brushes, I find they really scrub a bit too hard. The edges of the brushes are quite sharp, so when you're massaging it on your face, it can tear the top layers of the skin, it can make it very sensitive, but also it can spread bacteria, because if any of the pimples break, you can then spread the bacteria across the face, and then it will harbour in the brush. So as you're doing that, you're passing the bacteria around. The other thing they're going to do is inflame your spots. So if you've got that angry pimple or angry breakout, which can be, I've noticed, more stress related. Usually the stress spots come, especially for me, around sort of my jawline onto my neck, and there's really sore big red spots. If you start scrubbing away with a brush, you're just going to make them even more angry, and harsh face scrubs and anything like that, you're going to find that it's going to make the spots more angry, and then they're just not going to heal. And I know a lot of people say, you know, I get spots, the spots kind of go away, but it just doesn't really seem to heal or repair properly, and that's generally because you're scrubbing so much. It's because you want to get rid of it so often as well, especially if you're doing it twice a day with either a muslin cloth or a brush. It's not going to, your skin doesn't have time to repair itself, and by the time it starts, you're scrubbing away and breaking the skin again. So you want to make sure that you treat it with care, love, and attention, basically. So when you're doing your cleanse, make sure you use a nice cleanser. In the clinic here, I obviously use a Nimu cleansing gel. It's brilliant, very gentle, and that's a really good one for acne. And you can just massage it all over the face. You don't need any harsh brushes or anything. You don't even need a flannel if you don't want. You know, if you've got really bad breakouts, sometimes it's better just to splash your face and remove all the cleanser. But if you do want to use a flannel, I'd recommend the ones that I always recommend, the cheapo, nasty flannels that you can get from like your, I don't know, pound shops, or not even pound, you want like your Wilko or your Tesco, or just really cheap, simple flannel that'll just get in all the nooks and crannies. None of these big fancy posh ones or the muslin ones. You can get dead cheap flannels for like 25p each, and just throw them in the wash after you've used them. So just use them once and pop it in the wash, and just buy a stack of like 15 of them. I mean, it shouldn't be too expensive. So I'd really recommend doing a good cleanse twice a day if you can, and then once or twice a week using a really good exfoliator. If you've got angry pimples, I would recommend something like an exfoliating enzyme. The one I have in the clinic is the Nimu exfoliating enzyme, as I'm sure you're aware of. But this is great because it's very gentle, but it's very effective. And I love granular scrubs, don't get me wrong. My own range, I have the exfoliating pearls, which are brilliant. But if you've got really angry spots, you might be better with something that's more of a clear gel that just helps to, as I always say, eat away dead skin cells instead of scratching them away. So doing a gentle exfoliation once or twice a week will keep your skin fresh, it will keep the cells and all those dead skin cells that build up cleared, and yeah, your skin should look really nice and glowy, and it should help it stay more clear as well. So don't go overboard. Once or twice a week is more than enough to do an exfoliation, and just do a nice cleanse morning and evening, ideally without any harsh brushes. If you want to use a toner, you can do. They're not always necessary. You're better off using something that's more of a treatment like the Nimu conditioner, but I wouldn't recommend just going over with witch hazel because sometimes it can just be a bit too strong. So do a really good cleanse twice a day and exfoliation once or twice a week. The second thing I would say is, if you're a girl and you wear a lot of makeup, or a guy even if you wear makeup, and you're struggling with pimples, you need to kind of look into your makeup routine and how you do your makeup. So firstly, is your makeup comedogenic? Does it block your pores? Are you using a really heavy foundation that's going to cause blackheads? Maybe look for something that's a little bit lighter, maybe a tinted moisturiser, and use sort of like a non-comedogenic concealer just on the pimples. Something like the Laura Mercier Secret Camouflage is a fantastic concealer. I swear by it, I love it, I've used it for years. That is a really, really good option. And also, are you using makeup primers? As much as they're brilliant from a makeup point of view, they really can block the pores, they can irritate your skin, they can dry your skin out. So if you have got a big event and you want your makeup to last all day, fine, use it, but I would not recommend using a makeup primer every single day because they will really irritate your skin. I use the Nimu SPF 40, I use it as a makeup primer, and I've used that for years. My makeup goes on at 7 o'clock in the morning and it stays on till probably 9:30, 10 o'clock at night when I get home. So I would really recommend using like a sun protection for a makeup primer instead that's not going to block your pores. Also, when it comes to makeup, just try and make sure that you're keeping your makeup brushes as clean as possible. I like to have 2 sets of makeup brushes, and I will every few days, I use the dry brush cleanser, and you just spray it onto your brush, and then you can just kind of whiz it over a piece of kitchen towel, or like a clean dark towel recommended, obviously, because it'll get covered in dirty makeup. But that's a really good way of doing a cleanse of your brush every sort of 2 or 3 days, and then every 2 or 3 weeks give your brushes a really good deep cleanse. And if you've got a second set of brushes as well, you don't have to wait for them to dry. You're not going to start putting makeup on with a damp brush. So I'd really recommend doing a good cleanse on your skin, not your skin, your makeup brushes, sorry. The third thing I would recommend is keeping your skin as clean as possible throughout the day. If you can avoid touching your face, I know if you're sat at a desk you can be doing a bit of this, or some people start to pick, please don't, it'll only make the spots worse. So if you can, for me, if I wear a full face of makeup, I don't want to touch my face because I know it's going to rub my makeup off anyway, so that's a deterrent for me, I guess. But as soon as you feel your hand touching your face, just put your hand back down, and just need to get out of the habit of touching your skin because you will spread spots and you'll just irritate your skin. Yeah, you don't want to start rubbing or touching your face during the day. In the same way, try and keep away any big scarves. You don't want that all around your face if that's going to spread the bacteria. Hair, try and keep it off your face. Pin your hair back during the day if you can, if you know you're going through a major breakout. And the other thing is to change your pillowcase quite regular as well. If you can, change your pillowcase 2 or 3 times a week. Similarly to the face cloths, just buy a few and then you can just keep changing them so you know they're always clean, because that is another way of spreading bacteria. The fourth thing I would say is to look into your diet. I know I talk about diet a lot. I'm not a dietitian or a nutritionist, so if you want to go into it any further, maybe go and seek their advice. But from my experience, keeping a healthy gut will it will affect the whole of your body, so not just your skin, but just how your body functions overall. But a healthy gut will improve your skin, so make sure you've got some good probiotics in your diet. And something like raw sauerkraut I've really got into. I buy a jar and I go through a jar a week, and I use the Loving Foods sauerkraut. It's raw organic cabbage basically, and it's fermented, and it just gives you really good bacteria in your gut, so it can help to clear your skin and can help for so many other conditions, rosacea, eczema, loads of other skin conditions. So maybe have a look into that. That's the Loving Foods sauerkraut, and they do kimchi and all different flavors. It's brilliant stuff. So yeah, I'd definitely look into looking at your gut. And also something like maybe cutting back on dairy. Dairy can be a nightmare with spots. If you have like a big latte every day and yogurt in your breakfast cereal and milk in your tea and all those sorts of things. So yeah, maybe cut back on your dairy intake and just see if that changes your skin. For some people it doesn't affect them at all. For me, I know my body doesn't like dairy at all, so I just choose to steer clear of it. Similarly with processed sugary foods, processed foods, they just contain lots of junk, and that again is just going to cause havoc in your gut, and it just has a knock-on effect through your skin. So have a look at some really nice non-processed foods. Maybe try and eat as fresh as possible, and if you can make it with raw ingredients instead of something out of a jar or out of a packet. And if your dinner involves you having to stab the lid of something, it generally means it's processed and it's not good for you, so I'd steer clear of that. The final thing I would recommend is a regular facial. It'd be amazing if you can come and see me every 3 to 4 weeks. If not, go and see your local beauty therapist, local facialist, or even just doing a treatment yourself at home. But I would really recommend just doing at least a good face mask once a week with an exfoliation. That should really help to keep on top of any breakouts. I find my clients who come regular, at first, their skin feels nice and fresh, but the more that they come, the better their skin starts to look, and it just gradually gets better and better with time. In the clinic I do proper full skin programs, so if you do have a skin concern with something like acne or problematic skin, you can come in and we can create our full treatment plan and figure out what we're going to do to help get rid of these spots. So doing a really good facial every 3 to 4 weeks, or a face mask once a week would be brilliant if you can, using a good clay mask or some kind of like the Korean sheet masks I swear by as well. So they're my top tips for looking after pimply, problematic, acne-prone skin. Doing a really good cleanse with a nice exfoliation. Cleanse twice a day, exfoliate once or twice a week. Looking into your makeup routine, if you're using primers, maybe stop, and cleansing your makeup brushes. Keeping your skin as clean as possible, hair away from your face, no big scarves, try not to touch your face or pick. Look into your gut health and your diet overall, cut out dairies, processed sugars, processed foods. And then finally, a regular facial at least once a month, or if you can, a face mask at least once a week is brilliant as well. So I hope that's a little bit of information for you, that you've maybe picked 1 or 2 things that might help. If not all 5, that'd be great. Yeah, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.